Then it's too bad your mother didn't try to kill you.
This thing won an award?! I have a great respect for low-budget movies. Hell, I wrote the script to one. I'm going to be producing it in the next year or two, if everything pans out. With that in mind, I'm going to be extra critical of this review because it makes a lot of mistakes that even a novice crew shouldn't have made. With that in mind, let's just jump right into it. Death of a Ghost Hunter was written, directed, and produced by TRETTA and Mike Marsh, and it was released in 2007 by Maxim Media International. It stars Davina Joy, Lindsay Page, Mike Marsh, and Patty Tyndall. The film opens with some brief backstory. A minister and his family were murdered in 1982. I can't really fault the director for how this segment was shot, though. It's hard enough to try and replicate the early 80s with a big budget, let alone a truly shoestring budget like this movie. One thing that's hard to understand is why they shot it like this to begin with. I mean, it seems really drawn out and unnecessary. It feels like they could have just made it with a simple title sequence or something, but I don't know, they...
Hey man, what are you doing? Is this a review?
Who the hell are you and how did you get in here?
The door is open, man. I just, walked inside.
Get out, now! I'm busy!
So, what are you reviewing? Is it a bad movie? You're one of those crappy movie reviewers, right? Do you review crappy movies, or are you just crappy at it?
Get the hell out of here before I find my knife.
This one?
Oh, God damn it. We cut to the, present. 20 years later, a renowned ghost hunter named Carter Sims was offered a bunch of cash to go perform a paranormal investigation on the house. Here's the big kicker, though. We already know the ending. Awesome. Shortest movie ever, less than 4 minutes. Alright, time to go home.
No, man, there's an hour and 40 minutes left, man.
God damn it!
Masterson House Investigation, Journal Entry Number 1.
Okay, here's the first big mistake. JOUNRAL? This movie was the official selection at the Phoenix Film Festival and even won a Best Screenplay Award from the New York City Horror Film Fest. What the hell, people? I'm 3 minutes and 42 seconds into this movie, and you have a misspelling on the title cards?
October 16th, 2002.
Carter travels from Oregon to Arizona, giving a voiceover along the way. No real complaints here, but a lot of the shots are edited in an awkward manner. Check out this scene.
Laden premonitions aside, I arrived in Queen...
The musical cue is kind of weird and loud, right? Yeah, I know I'm being nitpicky. It's so weird, though. Why does she go from arriving at the house, to being in a bathroom just after a shower, to stepping out of her car?
p.m. Seth Masterson, the owner, was waiting there as we arranged.
Hey, Carter?
I am. You must be Mr.
And then the cut here is incredibly
My
short.
first impression of
Here,
the house
watch
was
it again.
I am. You must be Mr. Masterson.
Oh, please, that's fine.
My first impression...
I guess she's back in her hotel room and recording her thoughts? I'm sure it's an artistic decision, but the constant back and forth cuts between the house and hotel room serve only to distract. Here's another thing. The lighting in this movie is inconsistent and subpar, to the point of practically being non-existent. This was shot in 2007, so it was probably recorded on mini DV tapes. I think they only used practical lighting, which is something, that stands in the set, like an overhead light or a lamp. The director probably didn't have the budget for studio lights, which is too bad, but I mean, you couldn't even afford a 99-cent bulb and a 99-cent fixture? Anyway, young Masterson hires Carter to check out the house so he can sell it. Now, don't mind me, but she's rather pretty. I'd hire her too.
Dude, she's hot.
Shut up! Again with the lighting. It's so hard to see what's going on in the film since they use practically no lights. I don't mind if they make scenes darker for artistic effect, and they kind of explain this in the movie as Carter preferring not to disturb the spirits. It just makes it harder to see what's going on. She explores the house some, not that we can really see what the hell she's actually doing. It's like the camera's wearing sunglasses. Or worse, they use a neutral density filter to make it darker on purpose. We meet Colin, the video tech, and Yvette, a writer. Again, a lot of the edits are too tight and give you no time to process what was said before they cut to the next bit.
To meet
gonna be fascinating to watch you work.
This is Colin.
We meet her final addition, Mary Young, a so-called spiritual advocate. Unfortunately, she's little more than a poorly written Christian caricature. Maybe it's just the actress, but every time she speaks, it's like she just walked out of a Jack Chick tract. Maybe that was the point. I don't know, but it's a jarring juxtaposition between her and the others. Another weird edit. I swear it's only a few frames.
Fundamentalist Church of Christ. Joseph Masterson was one of our founding fathers. I myself am the founding member of the Community Youth Brigade. The Mastersons were a great, great family. They were loved very much.
Sorry,
I don't know. Perhaps her character was intentionally written to be as stereotypical as possible. She's also incredibly annoying.
Childlike. I don't know what it is. There's just something about her that bothers me.
Again with the lighting. It's so hard to see what's going on in the film since they use practically no lights.
that way there won't be any issues if anyone has to leave.
It'd be like if I turned off all the lights in a room, like this.
I can't see anything, man.
Wouldn't it be awful if I conducted the rest of the review with the lights off? So they set up some cameras for the night. I thought I already did this in Grave Encounters.
But if you do capture anything, mist, floating orb, full-blown apparition carrying a bloody severed head, just let me know, okay?
Now, for some reason, they actually have lighting in this scene. I don't know why. Oh yeah, more EVP bullshit.
What happened in this house? Is it dark where you are?
It's dark where I am. Did you turn out the lights to make it more creepy? I think you're just trying to scare us.
It's not my intention to scare anyone. It's just that the darkness is conducive to certain activity.
You know, my boyfriend used to say the same thing. If you find me naked somewhere, I guess he was onto something.
This is a really strange scene. Okay, so Mary Young had her period early, and the director tries to show some sort of story attachment to this. But it only serves to let the church girl rattle off some more stereotypical bullshit.
It's God's will against women. It's because we're weak. You probably use birth control. Here.
At least the others are kind of aware of how strange she is.
Yeah, but seriously, is that normal?
No.
Oh, also, nude scene. If you want to see it, buy the movie on Amazon or watch it on Netflix. No free show for you. Here's another funny dark scene. She's using an EMF detector and holding a goddamn flashlight right next to it. Yeah, that's not going to skew the results any. Seriously, this movie should have just been black and white or Game Boy green. Okay, this is kind of amusing. The night vision camera can see right through Carter's shirt. At least she's wearing a bra. Some creepy stuff finally happens, and a chair is magically propelled across the floor by some unknown force. Unfortunately, this is probably the highlight of the movie. It's as if the director couldn't decide if this was supposed to be a horror movie, a ghost story, a mystery, or a thriller. They review the audio from the previous night and hear some odd sounds, like a gunshot.
Colin, quick!
Colin reviews some of the footage and finds a creepy ghost kid peeking out from one of the bedrooms. Carter's ghosts seem to be real.
Oh.
Whatever you do, don't take any advice from this.
Another weird conversation between Mary Young and Yvette. Apparently, Yvette dresses like a whore or something. I don't know.
Modesty schmodesty. Nobody's gonna look twice at you wearing this shit.
Well, modesty is better than looking like a whore.
Pissed off over Yvette bad-mouthing the Mastersons, Mary Young then does what any self-respecting psychopath would do, and... what the hell? Again? Another peeing scene? I'm done, man. I'm done with this fucking urethral garbage. I just want one movie that doesn't have pissing in it.
Hey man, can I, do the rest of the review?
Second thought, no. Okay, I feel better. I'm gonna go for a long walk after this. The event shows the weird box to Carter, and they reason out it's some sort of headgear. The purpose is unknown.
Yeah, that doesn't look like a standard issue church item.
No. It's almost like a helmet.
Yeah, these people got some weird ass fetish gear. I think Carter is downstairs somewhere. I don't know what the hell she's doing.
EMFing.
Yeah, she's EMFing herself somewhere downstairs.
Another bad night vision scene where they rip off the Blair Witch Project.
Scared. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring him out here.
Overall, it's about 10 minutes worth of useless scratching around. Eventually, Colin sees the ghost girl again in the video, and Carter goes to search. So apparently she's only visible in night vision, and another ghost shows up to disrupt their cameras. This movie is so fucking dark. I can't see what's going on half the time because there's barely enough light for the camera to pick up anything. I know it's a low-budget movie, but it's hard to get any enjoyment out of the film when the lighting is so substandard.
He slimed me.
Once again, Carter and Mary Young get into another shouting match, and it's so loud that I have to turn the volume down. To make it even worse, the audio clips with every spoken line, distorting the sound and making it unbearable.
How do you know she didn't do it, Mary Young? No Christian mother would kill her children like that.
I hate to break it to you, but these people are not as saintly as you make them out to be.
Then it's too bad your mother didn't try to kill you.
I think it's time for you to leave, Mary Young. God damn it, stop this!
The two get into a rather brief slapping match. It's not so much of a cat fight because Carter kicks Mary Young's ass before Colin manages to pull her away.
Stop!
I'll kill you!
Get off of her! Let her go!
Fucking stop it!
The next morning, they're all in for a huge shock as they find that Mary Young isn't even supposed to be there, and the owner has no idea who she even is.
No, it's not. She's not supposed to be there. I don't even know who she is.
What the fuck are you doing here?
She takes off after Colin and Carter confront her.
She's crazy. That bitch Mary Young pissed in my fucking bag. She's out of her fucking mind.
Are you kidding me?
Smell my fucking bag, Carter.
Yvette discovers Mary Young's little urinary experiment and naturally goes berserk.
Are you sure she did it?
It was either her or one of you two.
There's really not a whole lot to say in the plot itself because it's so slow and drawn out.
I want to hear now from all you lost children out there in the darkness. Hello, you're on the air. What's your name?
Mary Young calls up a radio show, and the host basically encourages her to go kill the godless heathens, because that's what talk radio hosts do, right?
Thinking about how I can stop them.
Are these godless people?
Yes.
I see. There are times in life when you must choose sides, and you have to ask yourself this question. Is my faith pure enough to stand in opposition to those who go against God? Remember this, Mary. Only the righteous are worthy to be warriors of God.
The others start piecing together the events of the house, and they make an effort to go try and scare up a few ghosts. Meanwhile, Mary Young goes back and sweet talks Colin into letting her inside, under the pretense of finding her sweater. It doesn't last long, and she palms the key that she left behind.
Cocksucker.
I'm not really sure what's happening here. Mary Young has the weird headgear on, and it looks like she's either really horny or really scared. And it should be obvious by this point that Mary Young knows more about the Mastersons than she'd let on.
If you didn't see her drive away, then how do you know she's gone?
Give me a break, she's fucking gone.
Fuck it.
Yvette goes back into the house to call the cops, and Mary Young calls out to her.
Help me. Help me, please.
For some unknown reason, Yvette doesn't recognize the voice, and then for some idiotic reason looks for her without turning on any of the lights.
It hurts.
Unsurprisingly, Mary Young stabs Yvette with the knife and kills her.
Yvette!
Colin! Colin, come here, quick! I'm in Peter's room.
She then lures the remaining two into the house and silently kills them as well.
And it will be the
now for
Mary Young then goes on a long, drawn-out monologue about the Mastersons. And it turns out that, surprise, she's the daughter of Joseph Masterson and some poor girl that he kidnapped and raped. Masterson's wife eventually goes berserk and murders the whole lot of them, and then kills herself. She just merely tries to drown the baby without any success. Basically, the whole thing comes down to, and I was that baby. And then she kills herself. Seriously, if this was supposed to be a parody, it was a bad one. Naturally, it's told through some bad vignette effects and suffers from the same bad sound quality as the rest of the movie. Seriously, it's like 20 minutes worth of epilogue. The acting here is even worse than the main part of the movie, if you can believe me. The only cool thing about the whole scene is that piece of headgear. But even that's really creepy. The last scene is of Carter waking up to find that she has died, and that she is trapped forever in the house as a ghost along with the others. The audio quality and volume is all over the place here. Yvette and Carter are mic'd at very different volumes, and listening to this with headphones on is eardrum bursting at times. Now, normally I don't mind the crappy lighting too much, but when it's combined with an automatically adjusting iris, it's extremely annoying. And it's like no thought whatsoever was put into the lighting, and the whole film suffers for it. The script should have been edited a few more times to give the story more focus. Right now it's all over the place, and it doesn't really know if it's a thriller, horror, mystery, or suspense movie. Another thing that I noticed is that they only had 3 or 4 pieces of music that they used constantly. While some of it was kind of nice as a theme, more variety would have been appreciated. Overall, Death of a Ghost Hunter is a movie that had a lot of ambition and some good ideas, but the execution was flawed and sloppy. The complete lack of lighting does nothing to set the mood or story, and in fact just makes it very muddy and murky to watch. To be fair, it may be an artistic decision for the director, but I personally don't agree with it. Again, I'm being really extra critical of this review because it won several awards. I just can't fault the acting as much as I want to. I hate faulting actors for something that's usually the director's fault. Spend time rehearsing the lines, run through it a few times till it feels right. Unfortunately, this really felt like it was only shot with a few takes. All in all, this movie had a lot of promise, but ultimately it was rushed and sloppily made. The story could have been told in half the time, and overall it's extremely rough. Now get the hell out of my house!
Alright.
cocksucker.